This is Rishi Sunak's tax return. The multi-millionaire Prime Minister paid an effective tax rate of just 23%, the same as an average teacher. In the UK, the effective tax rate of the richest 0.01% is less than half the rate paid by the bottom 10% of earners. Globally, billionaires pay tax rates equal to 0% or 0.5% of their wealth.
I pay a lower tax rate on much of my income than my cleaning lady does.
So why do the rich pay so little tax? Because the forms of income they often rely on are taxed much lower than the income of a typical person who has to rely on a salary. For instance, most of Rishi Sunak's £2.2 million earnings came from capital gains on shares, which are taxed at only 20%. Proposals for a wealth tax have gained traction in the last few years.
This is not rocket science. We can talk for a very long time about all these stupid philanthropy schemes. We gotta be talking about taxes. Yeah, that's it. Taxes, taxes, taxes. All the rest is bullshit.
When the idea was put to billionaire Leon Cooperman on CNN, he started crying. A wealth tax would account not just for wages or salaries, but for all the wealth somebody owns, like property, shares, bonds, art, jewelry, wine, cars, ownership stakes, private jets, pension plans, trusts, horses, even intellectual property. A global wealth tax of 2 to 3% for multimillionaires and 5% for billionaires could lift 2 billion people out of poverty. A 2% tax on wealth in the UK could raise £22 billion annually, enough to build 145,000 affordable homes per year. Opponents to a wealth tax include billionaires.
The wealth taxes
destroys the economy. It's going to bankrupt every startup.
Is this an environment that's hospitable for capitalism and capitalists?
Billionaire-funded think tanks and the Labour Party.
The blanket wealth tax, no, that's not our policy. We need proper economic growth, sustained economic growth, and that is not through having a wealth tax.
The right-wing media, which is largely funded by the ultra-rich, agrees with the Shadow Chancellor.
It's time to end the war on the wealthy. We need their money.
Innovation creates rich people. They reinvest in new growth. It's a great perpetual motion machine that benefits all of us.
But the idea that extreme wealth accumulation
benefits all of us
has been widely discredited. As the IMF says, when the rich get richer, benefits do not trickle down. Instead, they get passed on to their children. Most billionaires inherited their wealth. For the under 30s, it's all of them. The IMF also warns that extreme concentrations of wealth are bad for economies. Right now, the richest 50 people in the UK have more wealth than half the population. If the goal is
proper economic growth, sustained economic growth,
as well as a revenue stream to fund our currently anemic public services, then wealth redistribution via a wealth tax is a no-brainer. And polling shows that most people in the UK agree. Until we abolish the ultra-rich, we should tax them.